So good evening, and let me welcome you to our today's session. Today we are doing management accounting, but in our introductory topic, it is very important for us to look on the areas that we are going to be covering in our course of the in our entire syllabus. So in this case, let me just first look on the content and the content, and then later on I will be able to do my introductory topic. So in this case, I will start by looking on topic one. Topic one is normally called cost estimation. This is our first topic, right? The cost estimation. Then topic number two, we shall do cost accumulation. Topic number three, we are just going to be looking on the a topic called activity-based costing. Activity-based costing. Number four, we are doing a topic called product costing methods. The product costing methods. Number five, we are doing a topic called marginal and absorption costing. Marginal and absorption costing, right? Topic number six, we shall be able to cover up costs, volume, profit analysis, cost, volume, profit analysis. You can be able to call it break-even. Break-even analysis, a common word we normally use, right? Then we have topic number seven, very interesting. You're going to be doing our budgetary controls. Normally call about or talk about the budgetary control. Then our last topic, topic number 10, or not topic number 8, sorry. We are going to be discussing about the standard costing. The standard costing, and we call it variance analysis, right? The product costing and variance analysis. Now, in that case, in that situation, it is very important for us to understand all the topics which we shall be covering. For example, the cost estimation is a common topic, right? Which we normally practice day by day or on our day-to-day activities. And it is basically talks about projecting. We normally do the estimations, right? We normally carry out some predictions for budgeting purposes. Basically, here we are going to be discussing more about the issue regarding to the budgets and what are some of the methods can we be able to use in predicting the future costs. Now, here we normally have some 4 methods which are basically applicable. Some of us might be familiar with the methods. We normally discuss about the ILO methods. We normally have the least square method. Sometimes we can call it the regression analysis method. Then we normally have the accounts analysis method. The last one is normally called the industrial engineering method. We shall be able to discuss them in a broad way. Then we normally have topic number 2 discussing about the cost accumulation. And when we talk about the cost accumulation, this is what we normally discuss much in investment in the raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods, right? So here we are going to just be discussing about the inventory management and how can what are some of the methods can we be able to use when we are issuing our materials or our goods, right? Because sometimes we might be dealing with perishable goods and so on and so forth. Later on, we shall be able to look on the issues of the employee, and that is basically much elaborated when you are going to be checking on the labor remuneration. Later on, we shall be able to discuss about a topic, subtopic called the overheads. The overheads, and that is why, and it is our big topic, by the way. Once completed, then it means that we'll be on a better track of finalizing our syllabus. Now, when it comes to the activity-based costing, right? We normally discuss about the application of the cost drivers, right? So when we are using our cost drivers, it means these are the items which normally makes an organization incur some cashes, right? What are the things which normally incur some cost? And that is why we are calling them absorbing overheads, because they are based on a given number of activities. And this could be the setups. We normally have the material handling, number of orders, production runs, machine hours. We normally have labor hours, among other cost drivers. So we shall be able to discuss about it and making us understand what and how can we be able to apply the activity-based costing. When it comes to the product costing methods, the costing methods are normally classified into four. We normally have, sometimes there are these students who normally pass through the ATD. They normally come across some of these topics here. So in this case, if you came across the costing methods, they are broadly classified into four. We normally have batch costing. We normally have service costing. We normally have process costing. And then the last one, we normally have the job order costing. We shall be able to discuss and also teach you about the normal, how can we be able to apply them in day-to-day activities. Now, we normally have the aspects discussing about the marginal and absorption costing. And when we look on it, these issues regarding to the marginal, these are just the methods which are normally used by the organization in reporting the financial statements. The difference between the two, right, methods applicable is that one normally recognizing the fixed cost being the relevant cost, whereas the other one does not recognize the availability of the fixed cost per unit. We shall be able to see it and also prepare those income statements. And we look on the difference. And also we do the reconciliation of both statements prepared. Now we have the number 6, where we are discussing about the cost volume profit analysis. Basically, we are calling it break-even. For those people who have already tested and tried to come up with a business, we normally discuss about my business has already break even, or sometimes we say now kabiashara kamejisimamia. In those aspects, it means that based on the projected cost in which the organization has to incur, the cost that we are incurring, it means that we have to be producing a certain volume of items or units so that we can be able to come up with the projected profits. Now, that is why we are calling it the cost volume profit analysis. We shall be able to enjoy it. By the way, it is a very enjoyable topic. The second last one, we are discussing about the budgetary control, and I know everyone normally prepares the budgets, whether personal for the businesses. And when you look on the preparation of the budget, it normally assists the organization to forecast about the future costs in which we can be able to incur. And in that case, it means that there are different categories in which these budgets can be prepared. One, we can discuss about different types of budgets, which we shall be in a position to do so. So we normally have only 4 types of the budget. One, we normally discuss about the functional budgets, right? Secondly, we normally discuss about the cash budgets. 3, we normally have flexible and fixed budgets. Then the last one, we have to be checking on the master budget. Those budgets we shall be able to go one by one. Now, the other thing and the last one is where we are discussing about the standard costing and the variance analysis. I know very well, when we are preparing these budgets, there might be some variances existing between what we projected and the actual costs. So in that case, it means as an accountant, as a management accountant, I have to explain the variance, where this variance coming from. So that is where we have to be analyzing. When we are discussing about the standard costing, it means we are analyzing our cost per unit of the products. Those are the things that we shall be able to incorporate and making sure that you understand each and every topic. Allow me just to start with the first one. Allow me to start with the first topic now. Right? Let us start with the first topic. And in this topic we are discussing is called cost estimation, is our first topic. Now, and when we are discussing about the cost estimation, we are saying that this is a method. This is a method. It is a method of predicting. It is a method of predicting the future cost. It is a method of predicting the future costs for budgeting purposes. For budgeting purposes. Now, we are saying here, right, in a simple way, the following methods are normally used. The following methods are normally used. They are normally used to predict. They are normally used to predict the future costs. And these methods, they normally include, number one, we discuss about ILO methods, right? Number two, we discuss about the least square methods, right? Number three, this is normally also called the regression analysis. The regression analysis methods. Number four, we normally discuss about, account analysis. The account analysis methods. Then number four, and the last one, we normally discuss about the industrial engineering method. Industrial engineering method. We have only four. We have only four methods for cost estimation. Allow me to start with the first one, right? We are discussing about our first one. I know that you have your calculator by your sides, and also you are writing some of these notes. Now, I just want to start with the first one. Let me just write or start elaborating about the first one, the ILO method, and I say, this is a method, right? It is a method of cost estimation. It is a method of cost estimation where two data values are used to predict, are used to form the linear function. They are normally used to form the linear function. We say, right, the linear function, right, we say the general form of this linear function, general form of this linear equation will be y is equals to a plus bx. Y is equals to a plus bx. Now, what does this mean? We say our y is equals to the total cost. The total cost incurred. A, we normally discuss about the total fixed costs. B, our B will always be the variable cost per unit. Right? Variable cost per unit. Then we have our X, which will always be the number of units produced. So when you move up a bit and you reach advanced level, you will be able to see this Y being called the dependent variable. Dependent variable. Whereas our X will always be independent variable. Will always be independent variables, right? Then, under those advanced levels, these are basically our constants. Those are our constants. Allow me to switch off your video, please. Switch off your videos. It normally affects the bandwidth of these, what we are recording now. Correct. So these are the things that we'll be able to see and apply in the questions, right? Those are the ones that you are going to be applying the questions every time. James, let me just switch for you. Thank you. So in that case, it means that when I'm going to be doing my questions, it is very important for me to understand and think a bit based on, is this a variable which can be dependent in terms of the decisions being made? We can be able to look on is our sales, for example, being the sales being, for example, we can discuss about the marketing strategies, and also we look on the sales being produced. Can you be able to see that the number of units which you're going to be selling or being produced, for instance, the marketing expenses might be our Y, because the more we continue making our advertising, the more the sales, right? In a positive aspect, the more the number of units you're going to be selling. So it is very crucial to understand, basically, to understand how the question is being set, and which can be become your dependent and independent variable. But NB here, NB, you can be able to say that this method uses the highest. This method normally uses the highest and lowest. It normally uses the highest and the lowest values, X values, by the way. Because it means that the X values is the one that is going to be guiding us, right? X values with the corresponding Y values. And it is very crucial. Allow me just to do an illustration, which was set December 2023. I know there is a question there for high-low methods. So let me see what the examiner was able to set during that time. So there is an August question, August 2023. August 2023, we have question number 1C, right? August 2023, question we have 1C. Very crucial question. So let us see how can we be able to apply the knowledge here, and we come up with a linear function. This function basically normally assists the organization to predict the future costs. Let us see if that is possible. So let's just try to do the question. Allow me to share mine, but also you need to open yours. Or can we start with this one? Yes, I can start with any. This one is for 2018 May. I can start with this one. Oh, let us start with the, okay. Let me start with 2023. I know that is where the interest of the students, they just want to see how these questions were being set. So in 2023, we had a questions of management accounting here. So in August, I know Sheila is in good position to read for us. Question number 1C. Sheila, go on.
The management accountant of Ongasafi Mills has presented the following data on machine hour and electricity consumption for the last 6 months. Okay, columnated as month, machine hour, then electricity expense. In June, 78, 1,000, July 78, 1,500, August 93, 1,590, September 105, 1,650, October 129, 1,740, November 144, 2040. Required using high-low method of cost estimation. Develop a predictor equation in the form of y is equal to a plus bx. 2. Determine the total electricity expenses at 120,000 machine hours. Then explain two limitations of adopting high-low method in cost estimation.
Thank you so much. And for example, if the examiner has given you this kind of a question, and you cannot be able to determine which is your X and which is Y, look on the additional information number 2. You can see the examiner is asking you to determine the total electricity expense at 120,000 machine hours. So it means this is our X, which is given under the additional number 2. So it means machine hours becomes our X, electricity expense is our Y. That is one of the concepts in which you can be able to use to determine or to differentiate between the two. But let us look on the aspect. The more the machine hours, the more the electricity is being generated. And you can be able to see based on the electricity expense which we are incurring there. So when you look at it, for example, the electricity expense, right? The more the electricity will be able to run our machine hours, the more we spend on it, the more the machine hours. That is the correct interpretation of it. So how am I going to be able to do my question in this case? Just open this question from your end so that I can provide you with a solution. So this is the solution of the question. I'm not going to be writing the machine's hours and so on, but I write my X and Y. Correct. My X and Y. So let me open my question and I copy all these data provided. We have, for X now, we have 78,000, followed by 78,000, right? Then we have 93,000 here. The next one we have 105,000. Here we have 129,000. Then the last one is 144,000. When you go to the Y, we have 1,800, 1.8 million. This is 1.5 million, right? Then we have 1,590,000. Then also the next one we have 1,650. We have 1,740,000. Then the last one. The last one would be 2040,000. So this is very simple. When you look on the y-axis, that is what we were talking about here in our NB, the point note. This method uses the highest and the lowest x values with the corresponding y values. For example, this one I can see the lowest. This is our lowest, right? Then we look on the highest is 144. I just label here. This is my highest. So once I determine all that, then I can be able now to write even my formula. I can show examiner I know what I'm doing now. Right? I know whatever I'm doing is correct. I have said once we determine our x and y values, it's very much important to determine your highest and the lowest. I say these are our lowest, these are our highest. Very good. So we are forming our equation in form of y is equals to a plus bx, correct? So what is the highest values? I say for y values, we have 2040. So we say 2040,000 is equals to what? We don't know the values of a and b, and that is why I say it. I explained further and I said the two are constants. But we have our x. So I just say it is a plus 144,000, which is the value of x. Then we multiply by our b as per our equation. That becomes equation 1. Then we can see the second one. The second equation of ours is 1.5 million, which is equals to a plus 78,000. 78,000 b. When we have two unknowns, it is very important to eliminate one. And that is why I'm subtracting here to eliminate our a, right? So once we eliminate our a, because we want to solve our problem, once we eliminate a, how many b's do you have? We say 144 minus 78, getting around 66,000 b. We should be equal to how much? 2040 minus 1,500, getting around 540,000. 540,000. Once you divide here by 66,000 and you divide here by 66,000, what is the value of B now? We say our B should be equal to what? Right? How much is our B? How much is our B? Let me see. Right? 540 divided by 66, getting 8.18. Once I get the value of B, then I can take the first equation and substitute for A. So here we just say substituting for A now. Let us substitute for A. So in this case, I say 2040,000 is equals to A plus 144,000. I multiply now with the value of B, which is 8.18, right? So in this case, I just say 2040,000 is equals to our A plus what? Times, let me just say 144,000 times 8.18, getting around 1177,920. So take this on the other side and you get the value of A. So just take 2040,000 and you know it changes the sign to 1177,920. So how much is your A? So 2040,000 minus 1177,920, getting around 862,080. So remember, we are equating our equations in the form of y is equal to A plus bx. And we now have the values of the unknowns. How can we be able to predict? To come up with a linear function, we say y should be equal to the value of y, which is A, which is 862,080, plus, right, the value of B, which is 8.18 x, right? We can be able to use these equations for predicting the future cost. This one is what the examiner was asking. And he was asking you to give your predictor equation and you get 4 marks. And that is how we are getting our 4 marks. Number 2, we are being told to determine something. Number 2, we are being told, determine the total electricity. So let us determine our total electricity using the value or the equation which we have already gotten from number 1. So in this case, we are saying, let us take our equation. We say y is equal to 862,080, right? Plus 8.18. And remember this x now, the examiner is telling you is 120,000, right? That is what the examiner is saying, that your machine hour, which is your x, is 120. How much is the total electricity when we have incurred when we have the machine hours or 120 machine hours? What will be our total electricity expense? So I just need to multiply it here and I will be able to get my answer, right? So in this case, I say we add 8.18 times 120,000. So here we are getting around 1843, 680. 1843, 680. It is very important. I said, let us just stop these videos, please. So I know up to that point, and unless there is any question, I can proceed to the third requirement of the question. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? So in order to answer number 3, allow me to give the advantages. Allow me to give advantages of ILO method. Advantages of ILO method before I answer part 3. And in this case, we are saying under the advantages that it is easy to use. And even yourself, you can be able to bear me witness. Easy to use. Number 2, right? Number 2, we have what? It is a faster method of cost estimation, and you can be able to see that. It is a faster method. It is a faster method of cost estimation. So let us look on the disadvantages now. disadvantages, which we are calling them limitations as per the requirement number 3 of the question. So what are these limitations of ours? We say it uses only it uses only 2 data values. It uses only 2 data values and ignores the rest. It normally uses only 2 data values and ignores the rest, right? These values, right, may not develop a reliable equation. These values may not develop a reliable equation. That is one. Number 2, or the second disadvantage or limitation is for the question provided there. The examiner is asking you the second one, and it will be, right? You can just say the second disadvantage is that the equation developed cannot be appraised. The equation developed cannot be appraised for efficiency and reliability, right? These are disadvantages of limitations as per the question. So I know that already I've answered a question which required a student to get around 10 marks. Any question up to that point? Any question at that point now? Do we have a question now? Let me know whether there is any question developing. Are we understanding, James?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let me just do my second illustration before I introduce another method of cost estimation. Will you allow me to do the second illustration, please? Allow me to do the second illustration.
Mwalimu, wait a minute. I finish up writing.
Okay, thank you. Just let me know when you are done. Continue.
Yes, question B. The administrator of Chebatok Hills Hospital would like to establish a cost formula linking the administrative costs involved in admitting patients to the number of patients admitted during the month. The admissions department's cost and the number of patients admitted during the last 8 months for the year 2017 are given below. We have the month, number of patients admitted, admissions department's cost. May, 1,800, 14,700, June, 1,900, 15,200, July, 1,700, 13,700, August, 1,600, 14,000, September, 1,500, 14,300, October, 1,300, 13,100, November, 1,100, 12,800, December, 1,500, 14,600. Required. Using the high-low method, estimate the fixed and variable components of admission costs. Roman number 2, using the least square method, estimate the relationship between number of patients admitted and the admission cost in form of y is equal to r plus bx. Using relationship obtained in B Roman 2 above, estimate admission cost. Pull it a little bit up. I can't see the other section. Thank you. Using the relationship obtained in B Roman 2 above, estimate the admission cost incurred in January, 2018 if admission was 2,000 patients?
Thank you so much. It's very important for us to understand that we are forming an equation in form of y is equals to a plus bx. We have already been provided the number of patients admitted and the admission department cost. So in this case, it means the more the number of the patients, the more the admission department costs will generate. So will incur, sorry. So in this case, it means the number of the patients are independent variables. Then the admission department costs. These are the costs that you're going to be incurring based on the number of the patient admitted. You can see them there. So the more the number, the more the admission department costs. So in this case, it means the number of the patient admitted is our X. The admission department cost is our Y. So how am I going to be sorting my question? This is how you're supposed to be doing it. This is how you do it. So you write first, I just want to form an equation in form of y is equals to f plus bx. So in this case, we say, let me just copy my data here. So I have my y, my x and y in that form. Then I copy my data here. So here we have 1800s. We have 1900s, 1800, 1900, 1700, 1600. Right. Then we have 1500s. We have 1300s. Okay. We have 1100. Then we have 1500. Correct. Then here we have the total values. The first one is 14,700. The second one will be 15,200. Then we have 13,700. 13,700. We have 14,000. 14,000 there. We also have 14,300. 13,100. Then also we have 12,800. Then the last one would be 14,600. Very simple. Can we be able to predict which one is the highest and which one is the lowest? And this one is going to be guided by the X values. Now, and that is where we say the X values will be guiding us. So it is very important for me to determine which is the highest and which one is the lowest from the X values, not from the Y. So in this case, it means this is my list. So here I say, this is my lowest. Which one is the highest? I just want to look on the Y, the X values, and these are our highest values. So let us form two equations so that we can be able to do our substitution. Very simple. So in this case, we just need to form our highest equation first. So we are not even considering what the Y talks about. So that one will be 15,200. We should be equal to A plus 1900. 1900. The second one will be 1100. Right? Is it 1100? No. It should be 12. 12,800 here. We should be equal to A plus 1100B. So let us eliminate one unknown, right? And then when we are eliminating our A goes, then we remain with 800Bs. We should be equal to how much? 15,200. 15,200. 15,200. 15,200 minus, what is the answer? 15,200 minus 12,800. We are getting 2,400. So divide both sides by 800 and also here by 800. So how much is our B? And we say our B there is 3. Then we say, can we be able to substitute? We say substituting for Y. Substituting for X, sorry, for B, for A, sorry. Substituting for A. So in this case, I just take the first equation. I say 15,200 is equals to A plus 1,900. But now I know the value of B, which is 3. So 15,200 is equals to A plus 1,900 times 3 is how much? 5,700. Take the 5,700 on the other side and determine what is our A. So 15,200 minus 5,700. We get how much? we get around 9,500. Once we get 9,500, we form a linear equation. We say y is equals to 9,500 plus our 3x. That is our linear equation. That is our linear equation. That is our linear equation there. That is our linear equation. I know this one you are not able to see it due to the reflection, but this is 1900. This is 1900, yes. Now from there, we can be able to sort out the second requirement. So how much is our second requirement of the question? We are being told in the second requirement, using the least square method, estimate the relationship between the number of patients admitted and the admission. We shall be able to get back to the least square method later. Then we are being told we can also use part 3 because we have used the ILO method. Is it possible for us to be in a position to use the equation that we have gotten here for prediction? And we can say yes. So in this case, we say the equation that we have gotten is y is equals to 9,500 plus 3x. But our x is how much? They are telling our x is 2,000 patients. 2,000. So how much is our total cost? I say 9,500 plus 3 times 2,000. 3 times 2,000. How much would be our answer? So 9,500 plus 6,000. We are getting something closer to 15,500. 15,500. 15,500. And because of the question, you will allow me to introduce our second method of the regression. Number 2. We are calling it least square method or regression analysis. Regression analysis method. Regression analysis method. And we say, right? Because I know you're writing, that is why I'm not will not be able to clear this work that we have done. So in this case, we say this is a method. Is a method of cost estimation. It is a method of cost estimation where all data values are used to form linear function. All the data values are used to form the linear function, right? It is a method of cost estimation where all the data values are used to develop or to form a linear function. Unlike the ILO method, the values of A and B are determined using specific formulas. We are saying, unlike our ILO methods, right? The values of A and B, the values of A and B are determined using specific formulas. So what are these formulas we normally use to get these values? I know here you have done. So it is very simple. I just want you to be breaking. So it means when you are getting the value of B, for instance, we normally use N, the summation of xy, minus summation of x, summation of y. You divide it by N, the summation of x squared, minus the summation of x, and then you put in brackets squared. What about getting the value of A? We normally say, can we take the value summation of y minus B, the summation of x we divide by N. So in this regard, it means the first thing that I'm supposed to be doing is computing the values of B. I must get B first before I get A, right? That is how the least square method is all about. You have first to be following up the equations. here we use the equation to generate or to be able to get the values of B and A. And because I just want to show you the simplest way of overcoming all these, I know you are done with this, right? No, you're done with it. Are you done with this? I know you are up to that point. So in this case, it means when I look on the equations, when I look on my equation here, when I look on my equations here, to get the value of B, it means I have to be multiplying my X and Y. So here we talk about multiplying X and Y there, right? Then we also have X squared. We have X squared there. Then someone can assist me. I can take out my calculator and multiply these data. So for example, 1800 times 14,700, I'm getting around 26,000 or 26 million, 26,460,000. Correct. The other one would be 1900 times 15,200, getting 2880. 2880, 880,000. Then the other one would be 1700 times 13,700. We are getting 290,000. Then the other one would be 1600 times 14,000, getting around 22,400,000. 1500 times 14,300, getting something called 21,450,000. 21,450,000. The other one would be 1300 times 13,100, getting 17,030. And the other one would be 1100 times 12,800, getting 14,080. The last one would be 1500 times 14,600. We get 21,900,000. Now we can square our X, and we start with the first one, 1800 squared. 3240,000 here. Right, 1900 squared. That's 610. Another one will be 1700 squared, getting 2890. Another one will be 1600 squared, getting 2560. Right, 1500 squared, we get 2250. Then the other one is 1300 squared, 1690,000. The other one is 1100 squared, getting 1210. Then the last one would be 1500 squared, getting 2250. And you can see this is a lot of work to do all of this. It is a lot of work. I just want to show you the simplest way of getting this. If you are writing, you can stop. If you look on your calculator, for example, if you are using FX82MS, right? If you are using FX82MS, once you press your mode, let me just write it here. You can press your mode. Once you press your modes, you will be having number one, for example, comp number one. We have SD number two. Then number three, we have regression. All right, something looking like this. Remember, we are doing regression analysis. We are doing regression analysis. So what am I supposed to be doing? I press number three from my keyboard. Then you'll be able to find the answers looking like this. Linear, 1. Log, 2. Then number three, we have this one, number 3. So remember, you are doing the linear regression equations, right? You press number 1 from your keyboard. Then the calculator of yours will be able to display up there, reg, something like that. So if I want to key in this data in your calculator, if you just want to key in this data in your calculator, it's very simple. How am I going to be doing it? For example, the first one would be 1800. comma, right? Do you know where comma is? You can see somewhere we have M plus. So next, or where you normally have brackets, the comma is next there. So 1800, comma, 14700. Then you press M plus so that the calculator can be able to program. So let me start by doing the first one. I have said 1800, comma, 14700. Then we have M plus. Mine is here. You can see here, right? This button of switching on or off, right? Above it, we have M plus there. So your calculator displays N is equals to 1. It means it has programmed the first data. The second one will be 1900, comma, 15200, M plus. I continue repeating the same procedure. So 1700, comma, 13700, M plus. Then we have the next one, which is 1600, comma, 14,000, M plus. 1500, comma, we have 14,300, M plus. 1300, comma, 13,100, M plus. 1100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1100, comma, 12,800, M plus. Then the last one is 1500, comma, we have 14,600, M plus. And you can see this calculator, even if I switch it off and I go away, I go, for example, I was in school and I go home, this data will still remain in the calculator. So in this case, it means it has already programmed this data and it can be able to provide me the solutions which I want. So what am I supposed to be doing? To be able to get these answers, these ones, right? These summations, I'm supposed to be pressing my shift and letter 1 from the keyboard. Shift 1. I will be able to see all these kind of problems, which I can see that I can be able to get the solution. So shift 1, I'll start by looking on the summation of x squared, where we are being told is 19,700,000, right? That is the answer. Remember now, when I'm using this formula, I will not be able to have these answers. The 2, I will not be having them. This one will be my blanks. These ones will be blank. So in this case, it means that I will just be able to continue with my getting my answers down here. So let me just repeat again, shift 1. Then I can see this, the one which is under number 2 in the keyboard is the summation of x. Now here I can be able to put the answer is 12,400. 12,400. Even if you can be able to take your calculator if you want, you'll be able to get 1,200. Then you repeat shift 1. Then you scroll using this scroll button, right? This one. So I can be able to scroll and I see the summation of y is how much, which is number 2, because we are not in need of summation of y squared. So let us go to 2 equals sign, and this one is 112,400. You can add, and that is what you're going to be getting. I repeat the same, shift 1, and I still look. I will be able to find that I'm in need of summation of xy, which is number 3, and this one will be 175,490,000. 490,000. So in this case, if I want to get the values of b, for instance, if I want to get the value of b, what am I supposed to be doing? So to get the value of b, it is very simple. I just want to put this data here. So n, our n is how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They say here is 8. The summation of xy, we have 175,490,000 minus the summation of x, which is 12,400, times the summation of y, which is 112,400. You divide this by our n now. We are saying our n is 8 times the summation of x squared, which is how much? 19,700,000 minus the summation of x, which is 12,400. 12,400 squared. So how much it is? How much it is now? So you can see that going through all these is very active. This one is very active. Multiplying all of these, I will be able to waste a lot of time in exam. So let me just, to get the answer for B now, to get the answer here, let me press our shift and 2. Shift 2 now. So shift 2. And I scroll using this scrolling button, this one. So I scroll until I find my B, which is under Roman 2. And I'll be able to get this as 2.65. 2.65. You can see I'm not struggling to get the answers because I know my tactics. I have said, because we are using this tactic, or you are using this shortcut I'm showing you, you'll just be able to miss the 2 columns. You'll be able to miss the 2 columns. What about getting your A? You say the summation of Y is 112, 400, minus 2.65 times the summation of X, which is 12, 400. You divide by our N is 8. So the same case, I will press shift 2, then I scroll until I find my A, which is under letter A, letter 1, sorry, Roman 1. So in this case, I'll be able to get here something closer to 99.49. 99.49. So when I'm forming my equation, I say Y is equals to 99.49 plus 2.65x. 2.65x. This is my answer, right? 99.49 plus 2.65. That is my linear function as per the requirement of the question. Then when you go to part 3, you just use your equation. For example, 99.49 plus 2.65 times now your x, which is 2,000, and you get the total cost here. So how much is our total cost? 99.49 plus 2.65 times 2,000. I'm getting something closer to Kenya shillings, 15,249. 15,249. That is what you're supposed to be doing. That is what it is, the requirement for you. That is the requirement in any exam. That is the requirement in any exam. Any question? Any question there?
Teacher, you'll clarify more on the use of the calculator.
Okay. I'll just be able to do the second question or the second illustration for better understanding. So, yes, I will clarify more. Are we done writing the notes or writing the calculation? Have we completed writing? So let me just clarify a bit here. So remember now in an exam, umefanya hii kazi yote excluding the 2 columns because ukitumia all these, hautakuwa na these answers. Right? So what am I going to be doing here? It is very simple. I will continue doing my exam. Right? For example, this was question number 1. See, I go to question 2. I continue doing my exam. Then, because I have already saved some time from this question and used this on the other question, it means I will be able to finish my exam as early as 2 hours. Then from there, I can come later because I have enough time to multiply just and put in the answers and then doing the experience. But if, for example, you have reached a point where the examiner is saying 5 minutes remaining, don't panic. Just put your figures there. Just put your figures, right? Put your reasonable figures there so that because the examiner will just be able to come and mark these answers. You'll just be able to mark the answers. So, but don't leave it blank. That is the secret. Don't leave it blank. Just answer the question, and also, if, for example, you don't have time, you can put your answers because we need to score all the marks. We need to score all the marks. I think now, up to that point, that is clear. That one is okay. Can I do the second illustration, please? Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay. So let me do the second illustration. December 2022. Nowadays, we are not going far. So let me just look for 2022, December. We're having a lot of questions. So it's upon you to do a lot of revision. Nowadays, when the students are failing, they shock us because we have a lot of materials. We have a lot of questions. So student can be able to do a lot of revision if he or she wants. Just sometimes we may not want. But I know that all of us, we want to pass now. So in that case, let us do an illustration here. Okay. There is a question here tested on, should be question number what? Should be question 5C. And when we shall go to the advanced level, we'll be able to find a similar question. The way this is set, everything similar. That is how they normally interchange the questions. So someone to read for us, please. If you have not talked with us, can you just read this question, please? Someone? Someone who has not talked with us today, please read our question.
Okay, question number C.
Yes, yes.
Ocean Limited is preparing its budget for the year ending 30th June 2023. It has decided to estimate an equation of the form y is equals to a plus bx, where y is the total maintenance expense at an activity level x, a is the fixed maintenance expense. The following information relates to the year ending 30th June 2023. The month, the machine hours, the maintenance costs in thousands, the month, the machine hours, the maintenance cost in thousands. So we are required estimate the total cost function using the ordinary least square method. And number 2, determine the total cost if 1,050 machine hours were applied.
Thank you so much. So it is very important to understand that already the examiner has told you that our Y is the total maintenance expense, and you can be able just to see in the activity level of X. So our X is the machine hours. Once we clarify that, then we can be able to sort out our problem. So in this case, we say, right, let me just copy my data very quickly. So we have 400, we have 960. We also have 240. 880,000. Then we have 80 to 80. And you can see I'm putting the whole numbers. If there is a secret, you can be able to see. I'm writing the whole numbers here. And then the other one will be 400. We have 1.2 million. Then the next one will be 320. 320, we have 800,000. Yeah. The next one is 240. We have 640,000. The next one we have 160. We have 560,000. The other one we have 480. 480, we have 1,350,000. The next one, we have 320, 660, 660,000. Then the last one will be 160. 160, we have 440. Correct. So remember, your equations are looking like this. N the summation of xy minus summation of x summation of y. We divide this by n. The summation of x squared minus summation of x in brackets squared. Then we have our A, where we are talking about the summation of y minus b summation of x, we divide by n. So it means here you need the column of xy. Now let me do as I'm a student now. X squared. right? It looks like that. So in this case, it means I just want to feed this data in my calculator. And already because I have another data, right? Remember you have another data here. You have another data in the calculator. Then you have two options. One, you can press your shift and mod. And then press 3 and equal signs continuously. I have said to format your calculator, you press shift and mod. Then it has MCL, mod, and all. I say all. I press number 3. Then I continue pressing my equal sign to format the data of the previous question. Now, when you look on what you're supposed to be doing here, it means that I just need to feed this data in my calculator. Then I need to repeat the same process. I said, look on your mode in the calculator, right? Then it will have comp, which is number 1. Then it has SD, number 2. Then it has reg, number 3. Correct. So we need this reg. I press 3. Then it will have linear, number 1. Log, number 2. Then we have EXP, number 3. Then I need the linear equations, 1. Then it will display the reg on the top of the calculator. So what am I supposed to be doing here? I say, let me just feed my data in the calculator. And how will the data look like? I say, it will be 400,960,000. So in this case, I say, I start with X values. So it's 400. I put a comma, 960,000, which is my Y. Then I press M plus. The calculator displays N is equals to 1. The second one will be 240, 880,000, M plus. The third one will be 80, we have 280,000, M plus. The other one will be 400, 1.2 million, M plus. The other one will be 320, we have 800,000, M plus. The next one will be 240, 640,000, M plus. The other one will be 160, 560,000, M plus. The other one we have 480, 1350,000, M plus. We have 320, we have 660, M plus. Then we have 160, 440,000, M plus. They are 10. Even you can confirm with your figures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. And then we say, to get our answers down here now, we press our shift 1. This one you'll practice at your own time. So shift 1, we start with number 1, with the summation of X squared, getting here 920,000. 928,000. Shift 1 again. Then I look on number 2. It has the summation of X. I press it and equal sign, getting 2,800. Then we have shift 1. Then I scroll to get the other values. I need the summation of Y, which is under number 2. Here we are getting 17, 77, 70,000. What about the summation of XY? Shift 1. Then I look for the summation of XY, which is number 3, equal sign. You are getting 25, 26. 25, 26, 400,000. 400,000 there. Then from there, we say, can I be able to get the value of B? I say yes. Because our N is 10, I multiply by the summation of XY. The summation of XY, which is 25, 26, 400,000, minus the summation of X, 2,800, times the summation of Y, which is 70,000. You divide all of these by what? We divide it by 10. The summation of X squared, 928,000. Minus the summation of X, 2,800. You put this in brackets, squared. How much are we getting there? we said to get all of these, we press our shift 2. Shift 2. So shift 2, we scroll using our replay button until we get the value of B. So our B is on number 2 equals sign. Here we are getting 2436. Then you come here, you tell to get our A, we take the summation of Y, 7770. Minus our B, which is 2436, times 2800. You divide this one by 10, which should be equal to what? Shift 2. Then you scroll until you find A, which is on number 1, and then equal sign. Getting 94,889. So how will our equation looks like? It will be Y is equals to 94,889 plus 2436. 2436x. 2436x. That is my linear equation, right? But when I look on my question, it was telling me to do what? It is asking me to get that. And then determine the total cost if 1050 machine hours were applied. Correct. So in this case, to get the total cost, I just say 94,889 plus 2436 times 1050. So how much is this? 94,889 plus, I open my bracket, 2436. 2436 we multiply by 1050. So how much are we getting here? It should be around 2652, 689. 2652, 689. Don't write here during your exams. I'm just writing it because I don't have a space. So these columns are still, they are blank. So what am I going to be doing? I will do whatever I told you. Just come and multiply later on, or you put your own answers there. You put your own answers there. To provide you with assignments for practice, because here you need to do a lot of practice here. So to do your assignments, and you share them in our WhatsApp. Let us be active. So in this case, we have April 2022. April 2022, question number 1C. Secondly, the second illustration will be December 2021, question number 2B. Then the last one can be September 2021, question number 1B. Question number 1B. Question number 1B. Those are what you're required to have. If you are writing, let me give you 2 minutes to finish writing. So let us proceed. I just want to give you the advantages and disadvantages of regression. Then I do the last part of these tested methods of cost estimation. So let me give you the advantages. Then I do the account analysis, which is the last computable method. The other one is not. So we are not even thinking about doing it. Now, let us look on the advantages of regression analysis. What are some of these advantages? So, the advantage number 1, it uses all data values. It uses all data values. It uses all the data values, and therefore, the equation developed is more accurate. Number two, we are saying the equation developed can be evaluated. The equation developed can be evaluated for efficiency. For efficiency and reliability. Can be evaluated for efficiency and reliability. But let us look on the disadvantages. Stock assumptions, they might be asking assumptions, you can use the same. Number one, it assumes that all the variables are linear. It assumes that all the variables are linear. Number two, we say there is only one factor affecting the activity level. There is only one factor affecting the activity level. There is only one factor affecting the activity level. Number three, we can say it uses historical data which may not predict the future accurately. It uses the historical data which may not predict the future. It may not predict the future accurately. It may not be able to predict the future accurately. And those ones are okay up to that point. So allow me to do number three of the methods of the cost estimation. We call it account analysis method. Account analysis method. And we say this is a method of cost estimation. This is a method. It is a method of cost estimation. It's a method of cost estimation in which the cost ledgers are used to develop linear equations. They are used to develop the linear equations. And here we say the total costs are normally broken down into fixed and variable components. Is normally broken down into fixed and variable components. The source of data is the cost accounting. The source of data is the cost of accounting. The cost of data is the cost accounting department. Is the cost accounting department, where the cost accountants provides an estimate. He normally provide an estimate on the proportion. Normally provides an estimate on the proportion of the fixed and variable cost components. On the fixed and variable cost components. Sometimes you may see these having a lot of English, but there's not something that is hard. I can be able to show you how it is basically done. And that one I just need I know that you have already written the advantages and disadvantages. Is that okay? Have we written the advantages and disadvantages? Hello? Hello? Are we still there? Are we still there?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay, sour. I thought I'm alone now. I was almost ending the class. Now, let us do an illustration here to allow us to understand how do I normally, or how can I solve a problem which is tested using the account analysis method. I just be able to do a question they tested on December 2020. There is a question in December 2020. I think it should be question number, let me check. It should be question number 1B. Question 1B here. Question number 1B. December 2020, question is 1B. So let us see there. Let's check how the question is being tested. So this question reads, Ujezi Limited, or Ujezi Company specializes in the manufacture of building blocks used in the construction industry. So the cost accountant of the company has prepared a schedule of estimated overhead costs on the assumption that that production will be 170,000 blocks. Overhead cost has been classified as fixed and variable costs by the company's cost accountant is indicated below. So we are being given the overhead, and then we have the amount there, indicated whether they are variable or they are fixed. So you can see they direct all that information provided up to the supplies. But what is the requirement of the question? You are being told, using the accounts analysis method, right? Determine a cost estimation equation in the form of y is equals to a plus bx, taking the number of blocks to be the only cost driver. So in that case, it means when you are coming up with this question, it is very crucial to separate the cost in this manner. So let us go to the board, and you'll be able to find that you can just be able to separate your cost into, you have fixed costs. You can have fixed costs there. Then we have variable. But remember, we are forming our equation in form of y is equals to a plus bx. But never forget, here we only need the variable cost per unit. So what we'll be able to get first at the end of this analysis is the total costs. You're going to be getting the total costs, the total variable cost. But what you will be able to require, you will be required. Sorry for that. So in this case, we'll be able, or you'll be required here to get the total variable cost, right? So let us just check on our question and we see how we can be able to do it. Let us start with the indirect materials. So we are being told our indirect materials, they are all variable, 5,700. So you put them here. Here is dash. Then the next one we have indirect labor. And remember all the variables, if they are not stated or you are not given any proportion, if something or if a variable, if a cost is a variable in nature, don't struggle to know if the examiner has not specified. You'll be able to come across that kind of a question. So indirect labor is 4100. After indirect labor, we have rendered rates. Our rendered rates, we have 2800. Then the other one, we have machinery depreciation. So machinery depreciation, we have been told, this one we have been told is fixed, sorry. I put it there. So machinery depreciation, we have been told of fixed 1700. I put it here. A dash. Then the next one we have maintenance. You have maintenance there. How much is our maintenance? We have been told 52 in total. That 100 is the variable. The balance goes to the fixed. So how much is the balance? The balance will be 2100. The difference, because the total is 5200. Now from there we have technical support. How much is our technical support? Technical support, we are being given 1620. Fixed, there's dash. The next one we have storage costs. So the storage cost, you are being given how much? Our storage cost is how much? You've been told the storage cost is 4300, but 41 is variable. So this is 41. It means the balance of 200 is fixed. Yeah. From there we have heat and lights. How much is our heat and lights? You're given that 100, but 1000 is fixed. Then it means there is 2100. Yeah. We have water bill. Water bill is how much? The water bill is 1700, but 650 is fixed. So it means here 1050 is the variable. We have transports. Transport, we are being given how much? Transport 29,900 fixed. 2000 is your variable. Yeah. The last one is supplies. Supplies, we are being given of variable 4000. So how much is our total here? Yeah. Let me start with the variable. 5700 plus 4100 plus that 100 plus 4100 plus 2100 plus 1050 plus 2000 plus 4000. 26,150. Yeah. Let us look on the fixed. 2800 plus 1700 plus 2100 plus 1620 plus 200 plus 1000 plus 650 plus 900. How much is this? 10,970. Remember, what you have gotten here is the total fixed cost. What have you gotten here? This is your total variable cost. But to form the equation, you need the total fixed cost plus the variable cost per unit. But here what we have is the total variable cost. So how am I going to be getting the variable cost per unit? I will be able to take the total variable cost, which is 26,150. We divide by the number of bricks which we are producing, and we are being given half there. We are being told that the cost accountant of the company has prepared a schedule of estimates, estimated overhead cost on the assumption that the production will be 17,000. 170,000 bricks. 170,000 bricks. And remember, this is 26,150,000. You know that. Because we have already limited our zeros into thousands. So 26,150,000 we divide by 170,000. We are getting something closer to 153.82. Right? So how will be our equation? We say y should be equal to 10,970,000. Right? 10,970,000 plus 153.82x. This will be our linear function. That one will be your linear function. You're getting 8 marks. So for better understanding and also revision, let me give an assignment in this case. So the assignment would be May 2017. For revision, May 2017, we have question number 1C. May 2017, question number 1C. It is our assignment for accounts analysis method. For the accounts analysis method. Any question? Any question? So what I can be able to say, our topic 1 is done and dusted. Next time when we are going to be meeting, we shall be doing our topic 2. We shall be doing topic 2. Topic 2. If we don't have any other question, we can stop at that point. Let's stop at that point. I'll be able to share the video for you to continue doing your revision tonight. I'll be able to share it tonight. I will not be able to wait up tomorrow. So the video is coming shortly. So it's up to you now to start doing your revision. Just make your personal arrangements. I want people passing, people being happy.